So eventually I didn't make it to the North Pole to create this drawing, but I came here to get a bit of inspiration and to connect with the water element. Today I'll give you 3 reasons why Avatar The Last Airbender is one of the best animated series ever made, why I consider it one of a kind, and why I've chosen one of its characters for this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and do all these YouTube things people do to support each other. Okay, let's get into it. Reason number 1, plot and story. The series has 3 seasons, referred to as 3 books, and they are really like books in the sense that each season stands as a complete unit. The way the story is divided into what happened and when is brilliant. Each season has its beginning, build-up, lessons, and ending. On one hand, each season leaves us with a closed chapter, but on the other hand, each season leaves us curious enough to stay tuned and eager to see what's next. And only the 3 books together complete the full puzzle. Reason number 2, characters. I cannot emphasize enough how brilliantly the characters' writing and development are in this series. Not a single character ends the story in the same place where they began. Every protagonist, as well as the side characters, undergoes a process of evolution and growth. At the beginning, they are all young and immature, grappling with inner conflicts, doubts, insecurities, and big questions about who they are. Obviously, at this stage, they lack the tools to face the challenges ahead. However, as the story progresses, each character goes through a journey of transformation. And that's what makes this series so remarkable, because we, as viewers, experience that journey alongside the characters. Seeing them overcoming both inner and outer obstacles makes it easy to identify with their struggles and triumphs. In cinema and storytelling, one of the defining traits of a great character is their ability to make you reflect on similar processes within yourself, as we follow them through their journey, growing from vulnerability to inner strength, from immaturity to readiness to fulfill their role in the higher purpose or the broader narrative. We feel a profound connection to their story. Reason number 3, lessons and morals. As someone who has traveled the Far East and has a deep affection to Eastern philosophies, Chinese philosophy, Tibetan philosophy, and Japanese Buddhist philosophy, I truly appreciate the way Avatar integrates Eastern wisdom in an engaging and super cool way for children and youth. For example, it's the first animated series to present the concept of the 4 elements in such a brilliant way. It teaches us about the elements by dividing them into 4 typologies, each with distinct qualities and associated talents. I'm sure everyone who watched it has at some point wondered which elements are dominant within themselves and which ones might be weaker or out of balance. The series also conveys the idea that a healthy, balanced world is one where the 4 elements coexist in harmony, a core concept in many Eastern philosophies. In addition to the 4 elements, the series introduces us to the ancient Eastern settings and backgrounds, such as temples, traditional clothing, and breathtaking landscapes. And without making any spoilers, especially towards the end, the series offers a profound lesson of how to confront and diminish evil, as well as how to restore peace. And it does it in a way that's vastly different from the typical good guys versus bad guys narratives we're used to seeing in mainstream cinema. For all these reasons, when I teach, I often use Avatar The Last Airbender as an example of how to create a fantastic and fascinating story plot. More details about joining my drawing, comics, and animation classes can be found on Animation Dojo's website in the link in the description below this video. Now let's talk about 3 reasons why Katara is an awesome character and why I chose her for this Speedpaint video. Reason number 1. Every great protagonist needs an equally great best friend, and it's hard to find a better best friend in the world of animation than Katara of the Water Tribe. Though arguably Hermione Granger comes close, but that's a topic for another video. At the beginning of the story, no doubt Katara is more mature than Avatar Aang. She's more responsible as she had to go through a lot in her childhood. On the other hand, being very immature, Aang even escapes his responsibility of being the Avatar. Katara quickly understands her role in the adventure of helping Aang restore balance to the world. She is the only character in the beginning mature enough to embrace this journey, while both her brother Sokka and Aang himself hesitate. Therefore, in many ways, before Aang begins to grow and mature, Katara exhibits more the qualities of a leading character. And without her courage, the adventure wouldn't take off. She's the best friends who know how to lend a shoulder, listen and be gentle. But she also knows when to be tough and when it's time to give her friends a kick in the butt in order to move stuff. She can yell at you, shout at you, and be very sharp when she thinks you are being lazy or irresponsible. But she never loses her temper completely. Even when she goes through a lot as a character, she always puts her personal issues aside and prioritizes the greater good. Which leads us to reason number 2, the brilliance of the character's writing once again. We meet Katara as a young adult, and it's immediately clear that she had to shoulder a lot of responsibility during her childhood, especially after her mother's passing. Even though she's Sokka's younger sister, it's obvious who's the boss in the house. Katara is a waterbender, representing the element of change. True to her element, she is capable of being soft, loving and accepting, able to adapt to different situations. But at the same time, she can be furious, mighty and extremely powerful. Throughout her journey of self-growth, she confronts strong emotions like fear, jealousy, grief, anger, and a desire for revenge. These emotions often overwhelm her unexpectedly, forcing her to face them head-on. One of her challenges is learning how to conquer and skillfully channel these powerful feelings, and becoming the incredible master and character we see by the end of the series, as she let wisdom rather than anger guide her actions. So, while she's a waterbender, we might say that the fire element within her personality is a bit wild and unbalanced, and mastering this inner fire is part of her transformative journey too. This goes back to a concept I mentioned earlier about the elements. While we all have a predominant element, achieving harmony within ourselves often requires balancing the other elements too. The character of Katara is an amazing example of the unbelievable magic that can be done through animation, and the reason why we love animation so much. She's such a rich, diverse character with so many nuances that it's almost hard to believe we're talking about a drawing. And speaking of drawing brings us to reason number 3, the character design. Katara, like all the other characters in the series, is a perfect example of a perfect match between characters' traits and design, meaning her personality aligns perfectly with her appearance. If someone were to describe Katara to me and then show me her design, I would find them perfectly suited to one another with no need for changes. This is part of the brilliance behind the series, and an example of the exceptional skill of character designers. It's a unique talent that I often discuss with my students, the ability to align a character's emotional landscape and personality with their visual design. I'm not sure if this drawing I made here fully conveys all the depth and subtleties I mentioned, but anyway, I'm happy with the result. If you would like to learn more about character design, drawing techniques, story plotting, and animation, you're welcome to join our courses and weekly classes. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please like and subscribe to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.